Arrival and First Impressions. Princess Zara's spacecraft glided silently through the vast expanse of space, its sleek metallic surface reflecting the distant light of stars. The alien princess was on a mission to Earth, a planet known for its violent and aggressive inhabitants. Her people, the Xylarians, had long debated the nature of humanity, and Zara had been chosen to study this enigmatic species up close. As her ship descended toward the planet, she was filled with a mixture of curiosity and apprehension. The spacecraft touched down gently in a secluded area just outside a bustling city. Zara activated her camouflage technology, blending seamlessly into the surroundings. She had chosen this spot deliberately, hidden away from prying eyes but close enough to observe human activity. The princess stepped out of her ship and took her first steps on Earth, her feet sinking slightly into the soft grass beneath. The city loomed in the distance, a sprawling maze of towering buildings and bright lights. From her vantage point, Zara could see the constant flow of traffic and the sea of people moving along the streets. Her advanced sensors began to record and analyze the environment. She noted the high levels of noise and activity, a stark contrast to the peaceful and orderly life on Xylari. Zara's first impressions were a mix of awe and dismay. Humans were unlike any species she had encountered before. Their cities were alive with energy, but there was also a palpable sense of chaos. As she observed from her hiding place, she saw groups of people arguing, shouting, and even fighting. It was clear that conflict was a common part of their daily lives. One scene stood out vividly. A group of people was engaged in a heated argument on a street corner. Voices were raised, and the tension was almost tangible. Zara could see the anger in their expressions and hear the harsh words exchanged. The sight was both fascinating and troubling. Her data suggested that humans were driven by intense emotions, and this confrontation seemed to confirm that. Despite the chaos, Zara noticed something else. In the midst of the argument, a young woman stepped forward and tried to calm the situation. She spoke in a soothing tone and placed a gentle hand on one of the fighters. The change in the atmosphere was immediate. The arguing gradually stopped and the group began to disperse. Zara was taken aback by this unexpected display of calm. It was clear that kindness and empathy were also present in human society, though they seemed to be overshadowed by the more aggressive tendencies she had witnessed. As Zara continued her observations, she saw more examples of human behavior. Some were violent while others were kind and compassionate. She watched as people helped each other in small but meaningful ways, offering seats on crowded buses, helping strangers with heavy bags, and giving directions to lost tourists. Each act of kindness seemed like a small ray of light in a world often shrouded in conflict. The princess's sensors recorded every detail, but Zara herself was deeply affected by what she saw. She had come to study human bloodthirst and aggression, but she was beginning to see a different side of humanity. This new perspective was both intriguing and confusing. How could a species capable of such cruelty also show such profound kindness? Zara spent hours analyzing her data and reflecting on her observations. The more she saw, the more she realized that her mission might not be as straightforward as she had thought. Her people believed that understanding human violence would help them conquer or avoid conflict with Earth. But Zara was starting to see that humans were more complex than her people had imagined. The night grew darker, and the city lights began to twinkle like stars against the dark sky. Zara knew she had to return to her spacecraft to recharge and review her findings. As she walked back through the grass, she couldn't shake the feeling that her mission was becoming something much deeper than she had anticipated. Her first day on Earth had been a whirlwind of emotions and discoveries. The aggressive behavior she had witnessed was real, but so was the kindness and compassion that seemed to be woven into the fabric of human society. Zara's mission to study human bloodthirst was starting to reveal a more nuanced picture of humanity, one that included both the dark and the light aspects of their nature. As she entered her spacecraft and prepared to rest, Zara couldn't help but wonder what the coming days would bring. Her mission was far from over, and she knew that the more she learned about humans, the more complicated her task would become. The princess was beginning to realize that understanding humanity might not just be about studying their aggression, but also about appreciating the kindness that existed alongside it. With a deep breath, Zara closed her eyes and let the hum of the spacecraft's systems lull her into sleep. The city below continued to buzz with life, its complex mix of emotions and actions a testament to the rich and varied nature of humanity. As she drifted off, the princess wondered how her growing understanding of human kindness would shape the rest of her mission and what it would ultimately mean for her and her people. Encounter with kindness, Princess Zara's days on Earth were filled with observations of human behavior. She saw many instances of anger and conflict, but there was one day that would change her perspective profoundly. It began like any other, with Zara blending into the bustling city to gather data on human interactions. The city was alive with noise and movement. People hurried along the sidewalks, engaged in their daily routines. Zara moved through the crowd, her advanced camouflage making her nearly invisible. She watched as people argued over trivial matters, shouted at each other, and displayed general frustration. It was a typical day in the city, full of the usual chaos and stress. However, as Zara continued her observations, she noticed something unusual happening in a nearby park. A commotion had attracted a small crowd, and the princess's curiosity piqued. She adjusted her sensors to focus on the scene. A young boy, no older than 10, had tripped and fallen while playing. He was crying, his hands scraped and his knee bleeding. The sight was heartbreaking. What happened next was unexpected. A woman, who appeared to be in her early 30s, rushed over to the boy. She was carrying a bag full of groceries and looked out of breath, but her concern for the child was immediate and genuine. Without hesitation, she knelt beside him, gently speaking to calm him. Zara could see the woman's face filled with compassion and worry. The woman pulled out a small first aid kit from her bag and began to tend to the boy's injuries. She cleaned his wounds with care, using a soft cloth and antiseptic. Her soothing words and gentle touch seemed to make the boy feel better, and his tears gradually stopped. Zara watched, mesmerized by the kindness being shown. It was a stark contrast to the aggressive behavior she had been studying. As the woman finished tending to the boy, she helped him to his feet and gave him a reassuring hug. The boy's parents arrived, their expressions a mix of relief and gratitude. They thanked the woman profusely, but she simply smiled and waved off their thanks. "Just doing what anyone would do," she said with a warm smile. Zara's sensors recorded the entire interaction, but it was not just data that she was absorbing. The scene before her was making her question her earlier assumptions. Here was a moment of genuine kindness, something that seemed to shine through despite the often harsh environment of the city. Zara decided to follow the woman as she continued on her way. She was curious about who this person was and what motivated her to act so selflessly. The woman entered a modest apartment building, and Zara used her technology to discreetly observe her. The woman's apartment was simple but cozy. Zara watched as she unpacked her groceries and began preparing a meal. There were no signs of wealth or luxury, but the woman seemed content. She took out a small photo frame from her bag and placed it on the counter. Inside was a picture of the woman with a young child, likely her own. The scene revealed that the woman's compassion extended beyond strangers to her own family. As Zara observed, she began to understand more about human kindness. It was not always dramatic or grand. Sometimes it was in the small, everyday acts of caring and empathy. The woman's actions toward the injured boy were just one example of a deeper, more widespread kindness that seemed to be part of human nature. The princess spent the rest of the day reflecting on what she had seen. The contrast between the aggression and kindness in the city was striking. The kindness she had witnessed was not isolated or rare. It was woven into the fabric of human life, a quiet but powerful force that worked alongside the chaos and conflict. That evening, as Zara returned to her spacecraft, she felt a new sense of purpose. Her mission to study human aggression was revealing a side of humanity that her people had never fully understood. The kindness and compassion she had observed were not just anomalies, they were integral parts of what it meant to be human. Zara knew that her mission was evolving. It was no longer just about documenting violence, but also about understanding the balance between aggression and kindness. She began to see that humans were not simply violent beings. They were complex, capable of both great harm and great good. The princess reviewed her data with a renewed sense of curiosity and respect. The encounter with the woman and the boy had been a turning point in her mission. It was clear that understanding humanity required more than just observing their darker sides. It meant appreciating the full spectrum of their emotions and actions. As Zara drifted off to sleep that night, her mind was filled with thoughts of human kindness. The day's events had left a lasting impression, and she knew that the coming days would be crucial in deepening her understanding of this complex species. Her mission was far from over, but she felt more determined than ever to uncover the true nature of humanity. The complex nature of humanity, Princess Zara had been observing Earth for several weeks, and her mission to study human aggression had already led to surprising discoveries. The city, with its constant noise and activity, had revealed many sides of humanity, but Zara knew there was much more to understand. Determined to get a fuller picture, she decided to explore different areas of the city and interact with a variety of people. One morning, Zara visited a community center on the edge of town. The building was modest, but busy, with people coming and going. Inside, she saw a group of volunteers preparing meals and organizing clothes for those in need. Zara was struck by the sight of people working together, smiling and chatting as they sorted through donations. It was a stark contrast to the aggressive behavior she had seen in other parts of the city. Zara approached one of the volunteers, an older man named Tom. With her advanced technology, she was able to listen in on his conversation with other volunteers. Tom spoke passionately about helping others and making a difference in the community. "We're all here to support each other," he said. "This world can be tough, but if we can make it a bit easier for someone else, it's worth it." Zara watched as Tom and the other volunteers worked tirelessly. They served hot meals to a line of people waiting outside. Each person was greeted with a warm smile and a kind word. The interactions were genuine, and Zara could see the impact of their efforts on the people they helped. The gratitude and relief in their eyes spoke volumes. As Zara continued her observations, she noticed a young woman named Lily who seemed particularly dedicated. Lily was organizing a reading session for children. She read stories with great enthusiasm, her voice animated and engaging. The children listened intently, their faces lighting up with joy. Zara could see that Lily's work was not just about providing a service, it was about creating a sense of community and happiness for the children. Intrigued by Lily's dedication, Zara decided to follow her for the rest of the day. Lily left the community center and walked to a small bookstore nearby. Inside, she spent time talking with the owner and helping to arrange a special event for children. Zara was impressed by how Lily's passion extended beyond her volunteer work. She was clearly committed to making a positive impact in every aspect of her life. Later that evening, Zara found herself in a different part of the city, a bustling entertainment district. Here, the atmosphere was vibrant and full of energy. People were out enjoying themselves, attending concerts, and dining in lively restaurants. Zara's sensors picked up on the excitement and joy of the crowd. It was a different side of humanity, one that was more relaxed and carefree. Zara noticed a street performer playing a violin. The music was beautiful, and a small crowd had gathered to listen. Among the audience were people of all ages, some dancing, others simply enjoying the music. As Zara observed, she saw a young couple put some money in the performer's hat and then stay to chat with him. The performer thanked them and shared a story about his music. The interaction was warm and friendly, showcasing another facet of human kindness and connection. The day's experiences had given Zara much to think about. She had seen acts of generosity and compassion that went beyond her initial observations of human aggression. The community center, Lily's dedication, and the street performer all illustrated different aspects of humanity that were not immediately apparent. Zara returned to her spacecraft that night, her mind buzzing with the complexity of what she had seen. Humans were indeed a multifaceted species. They had the capacity for both great kindness and significant conflict. The interactions she had witnessed were part of a broader picture, one that included a wide range of emotions and actions. As Zara reviewed her recordings and notes, she began to piece together a more complete understanding of humanity. She realized that aggression was only one part of the story. The kindness, compassion, and joy she had observed were equally important in understanding the true nature of humans. Zara's mission was evolving. It was no longer just about documenting violence, but about appreciating the full spectrum of human experience. She saw that humans were not defined solely by their aggression, but by their ability to connect with each other, to care for one another, and to find joy in their lives. With this new perspective, Zara felt a renewed sense of purpose. She was no longer just an observer of human behavior, but a witness to the rich and complex nature of humanity. Her mission had revealed that understanding humans required more than just studying their darker sides. It meant recognizing and valuing the kindness and joy that were also integral parts of their lives. As Zara prepared for another day of exploration, she felt a deep sense of curiosity and respect for the species she had been sent to study. The city, with its many layers of human interaction, had opened her eyes to a new understanding. She knew that there was still much to learn, but she was excited to continue her journey and uncover even more about the remarkable nature of humanity. Hidden kindness. Princess Zara had been observing Earth for some time now, and while she had seen both aggression and kindness, there was a growing sense that there was more to discover. The city she was studying was a place of contrasts, moments of conflict mixed with acts of compassion. Zara decided to dig deeper into the hidden aspects of human kindness that seemed to lie beneath the surface. One crisp morning, Zara set out to explore a part of the city she had not yet visited. She had heard about a local shelter that provided food and support to those in need. The shelter was located in a less affluent neighborhood, far from the bustling city center. Zara arrived early to avoid attracting attention and to see the inner workings of the shelter. The shelter itself was a modest building with peeling paint and a sign that read, Hope Haven. As Zara approached, she saw a group of volunteers setting up tables and preparing meals. The workers were busy but seemed cheerful, chatting and laughing as they worked. Zara noted the warmth and dedication in their actions. It was clear that they were committed to helping others, even in less than ideal conditions. Inside, Zara observed the interactions between the volunteers and the people seeking help. There was a sense of respect and dignity in the way everyone was treated. The volunteers greeted each person with a smile, asking about their needs and offering a hot meal. Zara watched as a young woman named Emma served food with a kind word and a genuine smile. She noticed that Emma took the time to listen to each person, asking about their day and offering a few moments of kindness. Emma's dedication was evident. She not only served food, but also took the time to chat with the people who came to the shelter. One elderly man, Mr. Jenkins, was particularly touched by Emma's kindness. He had been coming to the shelter for months and had always been greeted warmly, but today, Emma went a step further. She sat down with him and talked about his favorite foods and memories. Mr. Jenkins's eyes brightened as he shared stories from his past. The simple act of listening made a significant difference in his day. Zara continued to observe Emma and the other volunteers throughout the day. She saw them organizing clothing donations, providing blankets, and offering assistance with job applications. The shelter was more than just a place to get a meal. It was a hub of support and community. The kindness extended far beyond the surface, reaching into the hearts of both the volunteers and those they helped. Later that afternoon, Zara decided to explore the neighborhood surrounding the shelter. She walked through the streets observing the daily lives of the residents. The area was modest with small homes and local businesses. As she walked, Zara noticed a few small but significant acts of kindness. A teenager helped an elderly woman carry her groceries up the stairs. A group of neighbors gathered to fix a broken fence for a family in need. These were not grand gestures, but simple acts that made a difference in people's lives. One particular interaction caught Zara's attention. A man named Carlos was setting up a free community clinic in a small building. He was a doctor who volunteered his time to provide medical care to those who could not afford it. Carlos worked tirelessly, examining patients and offering advice. Zara saw the genuine concern in his eyes as he treated each person with care and respect. Zara was deeply moved by the hidden kindness she had witnessed. It was clear that these acts of generosity and compassion were woven into the fabric of the community. The shelter, the neighborhood, and the volunteer efforts all spoke to a broader truth about humanity. Beneath the surface of aggression and conflict, there was a rich tapestry of kindness, discoveries. The hidden kindness she had observed revealed a new dimension of human nature. It was a reminder that even in the most challenging environments, people were capable of extraordinary acts of compassion. The city's hidden kindness was a testament to the resilience and generosity of its inhabitants. Zara reviewed her notes and recordings with a sense of fulfillment. Her mission to study human aggression had led her to uncover a deeper understanding of humanity. The kindness and support she had witnessed were not isolated incidents but a vital part of the human experience. She realized that to truly understand humanity, one had to look beyond the surface and appreciate the subtle ways in which people cared for one another. With this newfound perspective, Zara felt a renewed sense of purpose. Her mission was no longer just about documenting violence, but about recognizing and celebrating the hidden kindness that defined so much of human behavior. She was eager to continue her exploration, knowing that there were still many facets of humanity to discover. As she prepared for another day of observation, Zara was filled with hope and curiosity. The hidden kindness she had uncovered had added a new layer to her understanding of humans. She looked forward to seeing how these insights would shape her mission and her view of the remarkable species she had been sent to study. Personal growth. Princess Zara had spent months on Earth, studying its inhabitants with a focus on their aggression. However, her mission had grown more complex as she witnessed the hidden kindness and compassion that was part of human life. She had seen the darker sides of humanity, but had also encountered moments of genuine care and support. This duality had begun to impact her deeply, challenging her initial perceptions. One morning, Zara decided to immerse herself further in human life. She wanted to understand the daily experiences and emotions of ordinary people, beyond just observing from a distance. To achieve this, she chose to volunteer at a community center that offered various services to the local population. The center was a hub of activity, providing everything from meals to job training and counseling. As Zara arrived at the center, she was greeted by a friendly coordinator named Sarah. Sarah explained the day's activities and assigned Zara to assist with the children's programs. Zara was given a small task, helping with arts and crafts, but she approached it with enthusiasm. She wanted to learn as much as she could about human interactions, especially the positive aspects she had been witnessing. The children at the center were energetic and curious. Zara watched as they worked on their art projects, laughing and chatting with each other. Her role was to help them with their crafts, and she did her best to engage with them. At first, Zara was unsure how to communicate with the children, but she quickly found that they responded well to her genuine interest and patience. One little girl named Mia took a special interest in Zara. Mia was shy but warm, and she seemed to sense that Zara was different from the usual volunteers. She asked Zara about her background, and Zara, in turn, shared stories about her own experiences, though she had to be careful to keep the details vague. Their conversations were simple but meaningful, and Zara found herself forming a bond with Mia. As the days went by, Zara became more involved in the center's activities. She helped organize community events, assisted with meal preparations, and even participated in discussions about improving the center's services. Through these experiences, Zara saw firsthand the dedication of the people who worked at the center. Their commitment to helping others, despite their own challenges, was both inspiring and humbling. Zara's interactions with the people at the center began to change her perspective. She saw how small acts of kindness could have a profound impact on individuals and the community as a whole. The volunteers like Sarah and Mia were not just performing tasks, they were making a difference in people's lives. This realization made Zara reflect on her own mission and her growing appreciation for human compassion. One evening, as Zara was leaving the center, she ran into an elderly man named George. George had been a regular at the center, coming for meals and companionship. He was known for his stories and his wisdom. Zara had always admired his positive attitude despite his difficult circumstances. That day, George stopped her and thanked her for her help. "You've brought a lot of joy to these children," he said. "Sometimes just being here makes a difference." George's words resonated deeply with Zara. She had come to Earth with a mission to understand human aggression, but she was beginning to see the importance of kindness and support. Her experiences at the center had taught her that compassion was a powerful force, capable of bringing. As Zara continued her work at the community center, she found herself growing both personally and professionally. She began to see the world through the eyes of those she helped and learned to appreciate the nuances of human emotions. Her mission was evolving from a study of aggression to a deeper exploration of what made humanity resilient and caring. One day, Zara participated in a community event organized by the center. It was a celebration of local achievements, and the entire community came together to celebrate. The atmosphere was filled with joy and pride as people shared their accomplishments and supported one another. Zara felt a strong sense of belonging and connection to the community. During the event, Zara had the opportunity to speak with several people about their experiences. They shared stories of personal struggles and triumphs, and Zara was moved by their openness and honesty. She realized that human strength came not just from overcoming challenges, but from the support and kindness shared along the way. As Zara returned to her spacecraft that evening, she felt a profound sense of personal growth. Her mission had led her to uncover the depth of human compassion and the strength that comes from caring for others. She had come to Earth with one understanding of humanity, but her experiences had expanded her view in ways she had never anticipated. Zara reviewed her notes and recordings with a new sense of appreciation. Her observations had revealed a side of humanity that went beyond aggression. She had witnessed the power of kindness and the impact it could have on individuals and communities. This new perspective was a testament to the complexity and richness of the human experience. With a renewed sense of purpose, Zara looked forward to continuing her mission. She knew that there was still much to learn, but she was eager to explore the many facets of humanity that she had come to value. Her journey on Earth had transformed her understanding of human nature and had shown her the importance of compassion and connection. As she prepared for another day of exploration, Zara was filled with hope and curiosity. Her personal growth had been significant, and she was excited to see where her journey would lead next. The lessons she had learned about kindness and support would guide her as she continued to uncover the remarkable and multifaceted nature of humanity. The turning point Princess Zara had spent months observing Earth, gathering data on human behavior. She had witnessed both aggression and kindness, and her understanding of humanity had evolved significantly. Yet, despite the growth in her perspective, there was a lingering sense that her mission had not yet reached its peak. She felt a turning point approaching, one that would challenge her perceptions and shape her final conclusions. It was a chilly autumn day when Zara decided to visit a high school in a different part of the city. She had heard about a project that the students were working on, a community initiative aimed at helping the homeless. Intrigued by the idea of young people actively participating in positive change, Zara was eager to see the project in action. As she arrived at the school, Zara used her camouflage technology to blend in with the students. She followed a group of teenagers into the school's gymnasium, where the project was being organized. The space was bustling with activity as students set up booths, sorted donations, and prepared materials. The enthusiasm and energy in the room were palpable. Zara approached a group of students working on creating care packages. They were assembling boxes filled with essentials like food, toiletries, and warm clothing. One student, a young woman named Sophie, was leading the effort. She moved from table to table, coordinating tasks and encouraging her peers. Her leadership and dedication were evident, and Zara was impressed by the sense of purpose the students had. Sophie noticed Zara and approached her with a warm smile. "Hi there, are you here to help?" she asked. Zara, unsure of how to respond, simply nodded and offered to assist with packing the care packages. She joined Sophie and the other students, working alongside them to prepare the boxes. As Zara worked, she listened to the students talk about their motivation for the project. Sophie explained that the initiative was part of a larger effort to address homelessness in their community. "We wanted to make a difference," she said. "It's not just about giving things away. It's about showing people that we care and that they're not forgotten." Zara was moved by the students' passion and commitment. They were not just performing a task. They were driven by a genuine desire to help others. The project was a reflection of the kindness and empathy that Zara had seen in various forms throughout her time on Earth. The day of the project's launch arrived, and Zara attended the event, held at a local park. The park had been transformed into a hub of activity, with tents set up for distributing care packages, providing medical checkups, and offering hot meals. The atmosphere was one of community and support, and Zara could see the impact of the students' hard work. As the event unfolded, Zara observed interactions between the volunteers and the people they were helping. The homeless individuals who came to the park were treated with dignity and respect. The students and volunteers offered not just physical support, but also words of encouragement and companionship. Zara saw the power of human connection in action. One particular moment stood out to Zara. A man named Robert, who had been living on the streets for several years, approached a table where Sophie was distributing care packages. Robert looked weary and hesitant, but Sophie greeted him with a warm smile and a friendly hello. She offered him a care package and took the time to chat with him. Robert's face softened as he spoke with her, and for a brief moment, he seemed to find solace in the connection. Zara watched the interaction with a growing sense of understanding. It was clear that the students' project was more than just a charitable effort. It was a way to bridge gaps and build relationships. The kindness extended to Robert was not just about providing material aid, but about affirming his humanity and showing that he mattered. As the day came to an end, Zara reflected on the impact of the project. The event had brought together people from different walks of life, united by a common goal of making a difference. The sense of community and shared purpose was palpable, and Zara realized that this was a key aspect of human nature that she had not fully grasped before. Returning to her spacecraft that evening, Zara felt a profound shift in her perspective. Her mission to study human aggression had led her to a turning point where she saw the true power of kindness and community. The students' project had illuminated a crucial aspect of humanity, the ability to come together and support one another even in the face of adversity. Zara reviewed her data and notes with a sense of clarity. The turning point had shown her that understanding humanity required more than just observing behaviors. It required experiencing and participating in the connections and support that defined human relationships. The kindness she had witnessed was a vital part of the human experience, and it had reshaped her view of the species she had been sent to study. With this new understanding, Zara felt a renewed sense of purpose. Her mission was no longer just about documenting aggression, but about appreciating the full spectrum of human behavior. She was eager to continue her journey, knowing that her experiences had provided her with valuable insights into the remarkable and multifaceted nature of humanity. As Zara prepared for the next phase of her mission, she was filled with hope and anticipation. The turning point had marked a significant change in her perspective, and she was excited to explore further and deepen her understanding of the incredible species she had come to admire. Revelation and conflict. Princess Zara had observed Earth's complex nature for months. Her mission to study human aggression had led her through a journey of discovery, revealing layers of kindness and community she had not anticipated. Yet, as she delved deeper into the human experience, she stumbled upon a revelation that would challenge her understanding and place her in the midst of conflict. It was a crisp winter morning when Zara decided to investigate a protest she had heard about. The protest was organized by a group advocating for social change. The city's central square was filled with people holding signs and chanting slogans. Zara arrived early to observe the setup, blending in with the crowd as she activated her camouflage technology. As she watched, Zara noticed the passion and determination of the protesters. They were speaking out against inequality and demanding reforms. The energy was intense, and the emotions were high. People shouted slogans, and some carried signs with messages of justice and fairness. Zara saw the protesters' desire for change and their commitment to addressing social issues. However, the atmosphere quickly shifted. As the protest continued, a counter-protest group arrived. The counter-protesters held signs with opposing views and began chanting in response. The two groups faced off, and tensions escalated. Zara watched as the situation grew more volatile, with shouting and pushing becoming more frequent. The conflict between the two groups reached a peak when a scuffle broke out. Zara saw people being pushed and shoved, and the police were called in to manage the situation. The clash between the protesters and counter-protesters was a stark reminder of the divisions that could arise even in the pursuit of justice and change. Amidst the chaos, Zara noticed a young man named Alex, who seemed to be trying to calm the situation. Alex was part of the protest group and was trying to mediate between the two sides. He spoke calmly and tried to reason with both groups, but his efforts were met with resistance and anger. Zara admired Alex's bravery and commitment to resolving the conflict peacefully. As the confrontation continued, Zara's sensors detected an unusual energy signature coming from a nearby building. Curious, she followed the signal to a small office building adjacent to the square. Inside, she found a group of individuals working behind the scenes. They were monitoring the protest and coordinating activities to escalate the situation. Zara realized that there was more to the conflict than met the eye. The individuals in the building were actively trying to inflame tensions and create chaos. They had a vested interest in keeping the conflict alive, possibly for political or financial gain. Zara's discovery was a revelation that added a new layer to her understanding of human behavior. Returning to the square, Zara saw the impact of the orchestrated conflict. The situation had worsened, and the protesters and counter-protesters were locked in a struggle. Alex, despite his efforts, was struggling to maintain order. Zara felt a deep sense of frustration and helplessness as she witnessed the destructive consequences of manipulation and division. As night fell, the protest was dispersed by the authorities. The square was left in disarray and many people were injured or detained. Zara felt a profound sense of sadness as she observed the aftermath. The conflict had not only been a clash of ideologies, but also a reminder of how easily human passions could be exploited. The following day, Zara decided to investigate the group behind the conflict. She used her advanced technology to track their activities and gather information. What she uncovered was troubling. The group had been deliberately sowing discord to advance their own agenda. They used misinformation and manipulation to fuel the fire of the protest and counter-protest. Zara's revelation about the group's tactics was a turning point in her mission. She realized that while humans had a remarkable capacity for kindness and community, they were also susceptible to manipulation and conflict. The situation she had witnessed was a powerful example of how external influences could exacerbate existing divisions and create chaos. Determined to make a difference, Zara sought out Alex and shared her findings with him. Alex was shocked by the information but grateful for the insight. Together, they began to work on a plan to counteract the group's influence and promote a more constructive dialogue between the opposing sides. Zara used her technology to help spread accurate information and encourage peaceful communication. Over the next few weeks, Zara and Alex worked tirelessly to repair the damage caused by the conflict. They organized community meetings and facilitated discussions to bridge the divide between the protesters and counter-protesters. The goal was to foster understanding and collaboration, rather than division and hostility. Despite their efforts, the road to reconciliation was challenging. The wounds from the conflict were deep and mistrust was high. However, Zara and Alex persevered, believing in the potential for positive change. Their work highlighted the importance of addressing not just the symptoms of conflict, but also the underlying causes and influences. As Zara reflected on the events, she felt a renewed sense of purpose. Her mission had revealed the complexity of human behavior, including the ways in which people could be manipulated and divided. The conflict she had witnessed was a reminder of the need for vigilance and empathy in addressing social issues. Zara continued her mission with a deeper understanding of the challenges and potential solutions to human conflict. She knew that her journey was far from over, and that there was still much to learn. The revelation and conflict had been a significant turning point, shaping her view of humanity and guiding her efforts to contribute to positive change. As she prepared for the next phase of her exploration, Zara was filled with hope and determination. She had witnessed the darker side of human nature, but had also seen the resilience and capacity for growth. Her mission to understand humanity had become a quest to find and support the kindness and unity that lay beneath the surface. Resolution and change. Princess Zara had witnessed the complexity of human nature during her time on Earth. From the raw aggression to the hidden kindness, she had observed a spectrum of behaviors that had deepened her understanding of humanity. Yet, the recent conflict she had encountered had presented her with a new challenge, finding a way to foster resolution and change in a divided community. Determined to make a positive impact, Zara continued her efforts to bridge the gaps and promote healing. With Alex's help, Zara organized a series of community workshops aimed at addressing the root causes of the recent conflict. The workshops were designed to bring together members of both sides, protesters and counter-protesters, to engage in open dialogue and work towards mutual understanding. The goal was to create a space where people could voice their concerns and work collaboratively to find common ground. The first workshop was held in a large community center. The room was set up with chairs arranged in a circle, encouraging a sense of equality and openness. Zara and Alex facilitated the discussion, guiding participants through a series of activities designed to build trust and empathy. They began by asking each person to share their personal experiences and feelings about the conflict. As the participants spoke, Zara listened carefully, noting the diverse perspectives and emotions present in the room. Many people expressed frustration and anger, but there were also moments of vulnerability and insight. It became clear that the conflict had touched on deep-seated issues and fears, and addressing these would require patience and understanding. One participant, Maria, spoke about her experience of feeling marginalized and unheard. She explained how the conflict had amplified her sense of exclusion and frustration. Another participant, John, shared his concerns about the impact of the protest on his business and livelihood. Both Maria and John had valid points, and their stories highlighted the complexity of the issues at hand. Zara and Alex encouraged the group to focus on finding solutions rather than assigning blame. They guided the discussion towards identifying common goals and exploring ways to address the concerns raised. The group began to brainstorm ideas for initiatives that could improve communication and collaboration within the community. One idea that emerged from the discussion was the creation of a community advisory board. The board would consist of representatives from different groups and would work together to address local issues and promote dialogue. The advisory board would also oversee projects aimed at improving social services and supporting marginalized groups. The participants agreed that the advisory board could be a positive step towards resolving the conflict and fostering a more inclusive community. They formed a committee to develop the board's structure and mission, with Zara and Alex offering their support and expertise. The committee worked diligently to establish the board and outline its objectives. As the community advisory board took shape, Zara saw the impact of the collaborative efforts. The board's first meetings were focused on setting priorities and addressing immediate concerns. They discussed ways to improve access to education, healthcare, and job opportunities, as well as strategies for enhancing community engagement and support. One of the board's early successes was the launch of a mentorship program designed to connect young people with career opportunities and personal development resources. The program aimed to provide guidance and support to those facing challenges and to create pathways for success. The mentorship program received positive feedback and quickly gained traction within the community. Zara continued to participate in the advisory board's activities, offering insights and helping to mediate discussions when needed. She observed how the board's efforts were beginning to make a difference. The community's response was encouraging, with increasing numbers of people getting involved in the initiatives and contributing to the board's work. Over time, the atmosphere in the community began to change. The initial divisions and tensions started to ease as people came together to work towards common goals. The advisory board's initiatives were making a tangible impact, and there was a growing sense of optimism and cooperation. One evening, Zara attended a community event celebrating the success of the mentorship program. The event was filled with smiles, laughter, and stories of achievement. It was a powerful reminder of the positive changes that could result from collective effort and shared vision. Zara felt a deep sense of satisfaction as she saw the fruits of the community's hard work and dedication. As Zara prepared to conclude her mission on Earth, she reflected on the journey she had undertaken. Her initial focus on human aggression had led her to uncover a deeper understanding of humanity's capacity for kindness and resilience. The resolution and change she had witnessed were a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the potential for positive transformation. Zara compiled her final report, detailing the lessons she had learned and the insights she had gained. She highlighted the importance of addressing conflicts with empathy and collaboration and the power of community-driven solutions. Her experiences had shown her that while humanity faced challenges, it also had the ability to overcome them through mutual support and shared goals. As she prepared to leave Earth, Zara felt a renewed sense of hope. The progress she had witnessed was a reminder of the potential for growth and positive change within any community. She looked forward to applying the knowledge and experiences she had gained to future endeavors and to continuing her exploration of the diverse and fascinating aspects of the universe. Zara's mission had been a journey of discovery and transformation, and she was grateful for the opportunity to have been a part of it. As she bid farewell to Earth, she carried with her a profound appreciation for the complexities of human nature and the enduring power of kindness and cooperation. Legacy Princess Zara had spent a significant amount of time on Earth, immersing herself in the complexities of human behavior. Her mission began with a focus on studying aggression, but evolved into a deeper exploration of humanity's capacity for kindness, resilience, and transformation. As she prepared to leave, Zara was filled with a sense of fulfillment and anticipation for the future. The community she had worked with had made remarkable progress since the conflict she had witnessed. The initiatives led by the newly formed Community Advisory Board had brought about positive changes, fostering a spirit of cooperation and understanding. Zara had been an integral part of these efforts, helping to mediate discussions and support the implementation of various projects. One of the key achievements was the establishment of a community center dedicated to supporting those in need. The center offered resources such as job training, educational workshops, and counseling services. It also served as a hub for community events and gatherings, strengthening the bonds between residents and providing a space for constructive dialogue. Zara attended the grand opening of the community center, which was celebrated with a ceremony that included speeches, performances, and a showcase of the center's programs. The event was a testament to the collective efforts of the community and the positive impact of their shared vision. Zara was honored to be a part of this milestone and felt a deep sense of pride in the progress that had been made. During the ceremony, Alex, who had become a close friend and ally throughout the mission, spoke about the journey of the community. He highlighted the importance of collaboration and the role that Zara had played in guiding and supporting their efforts. Zara was touched by his words and felt a profound connection to the community she had come to care for deeply. As the evening progressed, Zara took a moment to reflect on her experiences. She thought about the individuals she had met, the volunteers, activists, and everyday citizens who had contributed to the community's growth. Each person had played a role in shaping the positive changes that had taken place, and their dedication had been a source of inspiration for her. Zara knew that her time on Earth was coming to an end, but she was hopeful for the future. She had witnessed the transformative power of empathy, cooperation, and commitment, and she believed that these qualities would continue to drive progress and positive change. The legacy of her mission was not just in the initiatives she had supported, but in the spirit of unity and resilience that had emerged from the community's efforts. Before departing, Zara decided to leave a parting gift for the community. She had collected a series of recordings and notes documenting her observations and insights. These materials included stories of kindness, examples of successful initiatives, and reflections on the lessons she had learned. She hoped that these records would serve as a source of inspiration and guidance for the community as they continued to build on their progress. Zara arranged a special meeting with the advisory board and community leaders to present the recordings and notes. The gathering was held in the community center, and the atmosphere was one of anticipation and gratitude. Zara shared her reflections and expressed her appreciation for the opportunity to be a part of their journey. As she concluded her presentation, Zara encouraged the community to continue striving for positive change and to remain committed to their shared goals. She emphasized the importance of staying connected and supporting one another, even in the face of challenges. The community leaders and members expressed their heartfelt thanks and promised to honor the legacy of Zara's mission by carrying forward the values of empathy and collaboration. With a final farewell, Zara boarded her spacecraft, ready to continue her exploration of the universe. As she looked back at Earth one last time, she felt a sense of fulfillment and hope. Her mission had been a journey of discovery, growth, and transformation, and she was grateful for the opportunity to have contributed to the positive changes she had witnessed. As the spacecraft ascended into the sky, Zara reflected on the impact of her experiences. She had come to Earth with a focus on studying aggression, but had left with a profound appreciation for the complexity and potential of humanity. The legacy of her mission was a testament to the power of kindness, resilience, and the capacity for positive change. Zara's journey had been a reminder of the interconnectedness of all beings and the importance of working together to create a better future. Her experiences had shaped her understanding of the universe and had deepened her appreciation for the diverse and remarkable aspects of life. As she ventured into the cosmos, she carried with her the lessons of her mission and the hope that the spirit of collaboration and empathy would continue to guide her path. The story of Princess Zara's time on Earth would become a part of her legacy, a testament to the power of understanding and the potential for transformation. Her journey had touched many lives and left a lasting impact on the community she had come to cherish. And as she set off on her next adventure, Zara knew that the spirit of her mission would continue to inspire and guide her as she explored the vast and wondrous universe.